Welcome back to Our Community. Susie Thomas with Jill Taylor from Pregnancy Choices. How long have you been the CEO there, Jill?
Well, I'm in my 18th year.
Wow.
I wasn't always a CEO. I was the interim executive director for a while.
Still running things.
And I don't think I remember the board ever saying, hey, no more interim, you're on. But it's been a wonderful experience, Susie. Absolutely wonderful experience.
Or the longest interim I've ever heard of.
Yes,
18 years.
long
They've never
interim.
actually, that's a long interim. But it has been amazing to see the growth since you've stepped into that role. Does it surprise you?
Absolutely. It's I think as C.S. Lewis, surprised by joy. Just not knowing anything about this area of work. I always say I wouldn't have hired me if I'd have seen my application.
You were a teacher.
I was a teacher, and I was brought up in a wonderful home, a pastor's home, and he was more of a social gospel pastor. So I had probably a lot of yieldings for all these wonderful national and international organizations popping up in those days. So I really didn't understand the difficulties we have with some of those organizations offering abortion. And so I learned along the way. I didn't think abortion was right, but I had exclusions that I thought, well, under these cases. And now I understand so differently. I've learned so much, Susie. And I'm so grateful for it because I really understand that the power of the child, that God gives us that gift, oftentimes is to grow us up or to rescue us from a situation we're going into that could mean life and death later. So oftentimes when women come to us and say, I can't believe I'm pregnant, I don't want to be with this person, I don't even know whose child it is, it's a great time to stop and say, who are you? Who are you, honey? Who are you? Tell me who you want to be, and then tell me what this child might mean to you in the future. Can I tell a brief story about a gal?
Please do.
A gal who got pregnant and never told her family. She managed to keep her pregnancy weight way down. The last couple of weeks, she took a supposed vacation away from home and checked herself into the hospital and had that baby and placed that baby for adoption. And in 2 weeks later, gave a call and said, I'm a little late coming home, but I'll be home soon. Came home. 2 years later, she was married. And she recognized that we'd been kind of texting her on the number we were allowed to text her and saying, we have something for you here. If you'd like to come and pick it up, you're welcome to. We had pictures for her. For 2 years. She did not know. She didn't come to look at those pictures. It's amazing we kept them. And one evening, right before 5 o'clock, there were only two of us still in the building. The other person was on her way out the door, and she came in and she said, I think you might have pictures here for me, and gave me her name. I went back to the other person. I said, do we have pictures here? And she said, oh, I'm so glad she came from. I was just about ready to toss them.
That's amazing.
Here they are.
That's 2 years later?
2 years later.
My.
And so that other staff person left, and she said, would you sit and look at these with me? And I sat down and looked, Susie, at the cutest little boy, dressed in an Ohio State sweater, sitting in a little tiny chair next to his father, who had a Ohio State sweater on, and they're ready they had popcorn bowls, and they were just so stinking cute, getting ready to look at the TV set. The adopting mom had snapped a picture of this precious child, happy, wonderful, and lots of other pictures through those 2 years. And this girl looked at the pictures, and I said, are you happy with this?
Wow.
And she said, I am so grateful. She said, I don't think I still could tell my husband, but maybe someday I'll have the courage to do it. And I said, well, we're here for you.
Right.
If you want us to be in on that with you, I can talk about what an incredible hero you are in what you've done and how much you've blessed another family with that precious life. Such an incredible story.
Can't wait to see what comes. Maybe one day he'll play for Ohio State.
Wouldn't that
You
be
just never
something?
know.
Yeah.
You just said a phrase there that I love, and it's a hashtag you use. We're here for you. And you mean that in so many ways, on so many levels. Part of that is because you have some wonderful volunteers. I know we've got some great people listening right now who are saying, I'd love to be more involved. Maybe on a volunteer basis, maybe some way to get their church involved. How can people get involved, particularly churches? What have you got going for churches?
Oh, we have a lot of fun with churches. I just spoke in a church Grace Family Fellowship this past weekend, and Jimmy Lever spoke at Jackson Friends, and we've just we always have a good time when we're in churches. Because it gives us an opportunity to thank them for all that they do. It also gives us an opportunity to bring them up to speed on the prayer needs that we have. But yes, we love churches to be involved with us. If you're not involved with us, or if you don't think your church is, we'd love to have you maybe consider baby bottles. That's a really fun entry.
What do you mean, consider baby bottles? What's involved there?
We call it the baby bottle boomerang, and we'll come into your church. Obviously, January is a wonderful time to do it. February, Valentine's Day could be this is the love. I love the heartbeat of a child. We go all the way through June with different themes, and excuse me, I'm so sorry.
That's all right.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Excuse me. And what we love to do there is just share with them the opportunity to put change in a bottle and return it in a couple of weeks or 3 weeks, and then that change can change lives. So $1,200, if it's a check or cash or coins, $1,200 saves a baby on our business model, which is really well studied. So that's a great opportunity. So we have a lot of churches doing that.
When we're talking about people and their churches just finding loose change under the couch cushion and between, in the car seats, in your drink well, those different things, you put that together. Last year, doing this baby bottle boomerang with the different churches, you raised how much money?
$106,000 with coins and checks.
Just try and get your head wrapped around that.
That's awesome, isn't it?
$106,000.
But Susie, do you know that there's $11 billion in the United States sitting in pockets and couches and carpets
crazy.
And everything like that? So, yeah.
We can find that, and then I can't think of a better way to use it. What a great idea. Churches can also maybe throw you a baby shower. I know some have. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yes, that's fantastic when they do that. We love to have infant clothes all the way up to year 2. And I mentioned Earn While You Learn. Everything our client does, they are paid in a voucher. And those vouchers can be stacked up, and they can end up buying maybe a month's worth of diapers over a period of time, and maybe some formula and then clothing. And we do that so that we understand that we're empowering them. We're not enabling them. We're not just saying, walk in the door and we'll give you what you need. We're asking them to come in and let us help them take their pulse, find out what we can do next for them, because most of our clients don't know what we do either.
Right.
Yeah. So we're talking about a lot of different things, and we'd love to have them know all of that. So we'll do an orientation appointment, and then if they need a car seat, or if they need a pack and play, or if they need a high chair, whatever those big items are, we're going to help them work towards that and get that by the time they need it.
And that's awesome, because then that way churches are able to go together and give you pack and plays and car seats and cribs and different things that are necessary.
I remember one time when River Tree, the pastor, spoke about, we want to buy out every pack and play in Stark County. Wow. And I think they almost did that. There may have been a few in small stores that nobody could find. The Walmarts didn't have any. The Walmarts were out of them.
That's amazing. And so that way you were able to offer those to people who need them. And for when you're talking about safe sleep, that is so important.
Yes.
To have those ABCs, to be alone in a bed.
Right. Protected from pets.
Yes.
Protected from other children. Yep.
Yes.
Really
and
important.
on their back. Mm-hmm. Yes. So pretty amazing that you're able to do that. All right. You've got somebody coming to speak. Don't want to miss talking about this. Claire Caldwell, what a story. And she's coming November 16th. Everybody write down this date right now. November 16th at La Pizzeria. Jill, tell us, who is Claire Caldwell?
Oh, Claire has an amazing story. I just will say she is a survivor of abortion. I don't know how many friends you have who have survived an abortion, but she'll be your friend when you leave. And she will tell you an incredibly amazing story. I don't want to give the rest away. She's done so much with her life that's so special. But you do want to hear her. And she's coming, as you said, on the 16th. And we would love to have you call 330-455-7500 and ask to speak to Melissa at extension 201. And you can even leave a message there saying, I'd love to get tickets for that. I'd love to be included in that. We would love to have you. Obviously, for you, we're doing the same thing we do for our clients. We do not charge for our services.
I was just going to say, how much is this evening? La Pizzeria dinner and getting to hear Claire Colwell. How much does this
it's
cost?
hot hors d'oeuvres. It's not a full meal, but it's going to be a wonderful evening, and it'll feel like a full meal. But we're doing this with the idea that it's hosted for you so that you will come and enjoy it. But there will be an opportunity for you to partner with us. And so just come with your checkbook in case your heart's touched by it, or we'll take credit cards in case you and your husband agree to an amount, or you can make a pledge and take care of it over a full year. But help us by partnering with us. That would be so sweet. And Claire is going to be awesome. We've got the cutest little Rebecca who's going to play her cello through the evening, give us some beautiful music. And we've got a surprise for you in a video about our vital clients that you will just love. It'll be fun and exciting. So come.
Okay, and I need to have you repeat that one more time. This costs nothing to attend.
Correct.
Okay.
You are our guest.
November 16th, La Pizzeria in Canton, Ohio, and Claire Colwell, abortion survivor. Right
Yes.
there. I don't know who doesn't want to be there.
Yeah.
At that point, you've got us.
I know. It's
Oh,
really
my
quite an amazing story.
goodness.
Quite an amazing story.
Okay, November
yeah.
16th. So for
Bring your
tickets,
spouse if at all
Yes.
possible, because you and I know, Susie, our husbands like to make decisions with us.
Yes.
And we like to make decisions with them. So while I might say, I don't know if we can do this, my husband might say, I just checked, we're in good shape, we can do even more.
Yes.
And we want that. We want that ability for you to say, my heart is open, God's telling us to do this, and you've both agreed that's the right amount.
well, let me pick up on something that you said a little earlier. $1,200 saves a baby.
Yes.
So that's $100 a month.
That's right.
I know people who spend $100 a month on swinging through their favorite coffee place once a day.
Yeah.
So basically, you maybe go without the coffee. You save a life.
Yes.
And I'm reading that right?
Yes, you're reading that right. Can you imagine when our time in heaven comes and God shows us the babies that were saved?
Oh my.
Just think about as you and I know you and I both invest, our families both invest in this. Can you imagine, Susie, when God says, I want you to look over here. I want you to see, just take a gaze down there. Look at those little kiddos.
Here's who.
And they're the ones that you saved. Or even these are moms you kept from having another abortion because you invested in this ministry. And most women who have an abortion, the second one's easier, the third one's easier because it's just, it's like, well, at least I don't have to think about it. And they dull themselves to it. So we have a good reconciliation ministry. I didn't mention that, but we have a really good reconciliation ministry to help those women make different choices in the future.
I'm so glad you got that in as well. Wow. Well, to find out everything that they are up to, go November 16th to La Pizzeria. Call 330-455-7500, extension 201 to make your reservations, and don't miss it. Jill Taylor, Pregnancy Choices, thank you so much for all you do in our community.
Thank you.